Brexit. Well, it ripped that rug out from underneath my woodworking business here in France. It was called Wally Bois, as it was. Well, we used to make windows, doors, shutters, and staircases. Anyway, before we get into it, don't forget to boot the old like button, and there will be a secret word at the end of this video. But unfortunately, our customer base has, it's dwindled, diminished, because of Brexit. British expats, immigrants who reside here in France. Many of them have, returned to the United Kingdom while they were waiting for the Trade and Cooperation Agreement to be passed, to see what our rights were. But they left, they were frightened, many of them, scared, because they didn't know which way it was going to go. Was it going to be a no deal, was it going to this, that, I don't know. Were they going to be able to get a carte de séjour? Will they be able to stay? Or are they going to get kicked out of France? So, people were worried. I understand that. They were scared. I get it. But as a result, many businesses, including my own, have, failed. Okay, I still potter along and do what I do. Carry on with the YouTube and stuff like that. But my business is, pretty dead in the water, really. Because I've lost my customer base. And like I say, my customer base were British citizens moving over here doing renovations, buying an old barn or something like that. And they need a staircase, maybe they need windows, maybe they need shutters. And I'd make them for them, all bespoke stuff, you see. And some rather heavyweight stuff as well, like, 3x3 metre barn doors in solid oak, that sort of stuff. I was busy, doing really well in fact. And then we got Brexit. Back in 2016, on the 23rd of June. And the whole of the numpties, they put that cross in that wrong box. That they did. So don't get away from it. But it's not just my business that suffered. Now, many businesses have, they've been caught by the jeepers, they have. And one in particular, which this really just shows where we are at. If you're a business here in France, if the people who help promote you can't make ends meet, and this is the Bugle, there's the Bugle, and it's like an advertiser or like a Mercury or one of those advertising papers. I used to advertise in this. This is how I got started originally, doing woodworking here in France. I used to have an advert in the back of this paper, like on the back of it, there you go, adverts like that, offering building services, in my case, making wooden products, architectural products, out of wood, generally oak. Most of the stuff I used to do was oak. But if I read this to you, this is from the editor of the Bugle, the Bugle, and it's Stephen Martindale. And I've spoken to Stephen Martindale numerous times, because I used to write advertorials for this paper and that as well, which is like you get half price kind of advertising if you write an article sort of thing. Sort of an editorial. And Steve Martindale, he's actually a really nice guy. He really is a lovely chap. He's helped me out in the past. There's been times I haven't been able to afford to pay, and he said, okay, do it next month. He's paying, or we break it, instead of paying all at once, he let me do it, pay monthly. And it's just nice like that, do you know what I mean? Just help you along. It helps him as well, because it keeps us in business, keeps him in business. Unfortunately, we're no longer in business. He's no longer getting any revenue. People aren't advertising like they were before. And papers like these are free paper, are expensive to produce. Maybe surcharged, I don't know. Anyway, he's just put this on Facebook, and I'll read it to you. It says, hello, from the Bugle. And it says, it's with great sadness that I am writing to let you know that the Bugle has printed its last edition. I'm extremely proud of the newspaper and everything that we have achieved over the last 13 years, but the time has come to turn the final page. He wasn't a Brexiter, just point that out, although he was quite neutral regarding the editorial of the paper. I understand why, because there are Brexiters here in France. I know there's some crazy people, and if you're one of them, you lost your mind. Sorry. Say it as I see it. Well, he also, unfortunately, the fallout from COVID years, obviously we couldn't go out to work, so people weren't advertising. I get that, makes sense. And post-Brexit challenges, Now, these will be directly related to him as well, but also to us. Like, my business has been scuppered by Brexit, so I don't advertise because there's no one who am I advertising to. You see? He's lost his customer base as well. We were his customers, but also his audience is much smaller than it used to be. Makes his advertising worth that much less because there's less readership. That's how it works, you see, demographics and all that. So yeah, so unfortunately the business has been forced to close. I want to thank you for your support over the years, and the Bugle would not have been what it was without without our loyal readers, etc. Kind regards, Steve, not Steve Martindale. So yeah, the Bugle's no more. It's been going for 13 odd years. It was here when we first, it was a couple 3 years old when we first moved to France. But unfortunately for Steve Martindale, he's had to shut the doors. Can you hear my dogs out there? Well, that's just Brexit all over. It really is. If the people, this is a sign. It just shows that small businesses such as mine, residing here in France, struggling. Not just builders and stuff like that, but on the whole, because your customer base is gone. Now, I know some people, especially if you're, I don't know, maybe you're French or what have you, and I get, why aren't you using French services? I get that, but what you got to remember is a lot of people who moved over here don't speak the language, and they learn it when they come over to France. So they kind of look for somebody they can communicate with because they're worried that they're going to get caught by the jeebas, you see. You know, the short girlies. Yeah. So I get it. And obviously, I was quite happy with that because I was earning from it. You know, we managed to keep our head above water. We weren't earning a fortune, but we were registered, we were paying our taxes here, and we were able to make ends meet. Which was great. Managed to buy more machines or tools and stuff like that. Keep the materials in stock so I can carry on working. And obviously paying people like Steve Martindale of the Bugle. But it all stopped with Brexit. Yeah. The whole thing just started collapsing like a pack of cards. But this is not just in France. No. It's obviously going to happen in places like Germany, for instance. Anywhere where you might get British expats, or immigrants residing. Well, it's also happening in the United Kingdom because they've also lost businesses, not necessarily like this one, but other businesses who exported have lost big chunks of their market because of Brexit. It's too expensive to export now. I know we had the trade and inverted commas, and trade and corporation agreement, which was supposed to be all this free trade deal and what have you. It's not as simple as that. It's not a free-for-all. No, it's not what we had before while we were in the single market. Now, I think many small exporters, if they haven't already fallen to the wayside or managed to find different markets if they can, they're going to fail as well. They're going to start tumbling now, one by one, like a pack of cards. Because that's what's happening here, and it's the same thing that's going to happen in the UK, and it's already started. Anyway, you tell me, maybe you know of a business that's had similar problems like I have, maybe in the UK, but also in France, obviously for different reasons, in Germany and Spain and various other countries here in all 27 of them here in the EU. And it's a crying shame. It really is. Anyway, my word of the day, and I'm thinking about migration now. That's what I'm going to do. So thinking about migration. So my word of today is to do with immigration, refugees maybe, and the fact we've got no tomatoes on the supermarket shelves. Or if you're lucky, you might get a pack occasionally. So my word of the day is tomato. And why is that? That's because the government has told the Toms to find refuge in the first country they come to stay there. Don't you come to the UK, especially in those little boats. Well, in this case, container ships probably. Actually, it'd be overland, wouldn't it? Yeah, probably for tomatoes. Don't worry, you better get them. I don't know, the other side of the world or something like that. That'll be fine. Get your tomatoes from there. They won't be rotten by the time they get to you. Anyway, so the secret of today is tomatoes. What else is related to tomatoes? It's got to be turnips. Got Tolly's Kofi and her turnip. She's a turnip. Anyway, it's time for me to go. And don't forget, we've also got our woodworking channel. And it's called Wally Bois. There's a link down below in the description as well. Anyway, let us know what you think, and I do read the comments, but you probably already know. If you want to support the channel, you do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and it is very much appreciated. It really is. But also, we're planting 1,000 trees on 2 hectares of land. Yes, I repeat it every time. On 2 hectares of land, for which you'll be a part of. There's GoFundMe link down below, and we'll plant a tree on your behalf. Also put a sign with the tree, a bit like that sign, but obviously smaller, because it'd be a bit heavy. Yeah, quite weighty, that thing is. Anyway, so maybe of level 1, or just your name, whatever. Anyway, it's time for me to go. So remember the word of the day, the secret word of the day. Isn't that secret? Because, well, it is secret because you can't find them. Tomato. Tomato. You say tomato. Oh, what's that? You say tomato. I say tomato. Was it potato? Something like that. Ta-ta.